Up, guys. All right, sweet. We kick it off with EU coming into today. So what I'm looking at on EU, obviously we are bullish, 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 bullish. We are at weekly highs, daily highs. We're at all just highs from the weekly down at the moment, which is, good. But of course, price is going to reverse eventually. However, doesn't have to reverse until it's ready. So let's just keep following with what the market is currently telling us. Obviously, we haven't got a lot of structure to work with. I am working externally in my 15-minute range inside of this leg here, with obviously that being our break of structure. How I'm seeing this currently now, my internal leg, to be honest with you, I'm kind of still working like that whole range just there. None of this holds any sort of weight here. Like this is obviously a little bit of retest, which we have swept. Fucking my arrow on the right spot. Cool. So we've swept that, which is great. Um, got a 5 minute area up here, which is unmitigated decisional point. So I do still have this as my decisional. What I'm seeing currently is retest of the break. I don't think that, yeah, so like you could kind of say this area here is your decisional, which is yet to be mitigated. So I'm seeing this as retest, creating internal retest with a little break to the upside, coming into the decisional of our internal range, getting that sell off to target the liquidity generated here and also as well the liquidity generated here, as well as the completion of this structure cycle, but also as well the potential setup of this point here being a smart money trap and obviously the retracement of our complex pullback. So we'll see. We'll see. We do have to also as well remember that point down there that we've just made. That's actually a retest of our daily and our 4 hour break as well. So this point here, at some point, whether it's going to be done like this and generated as external retest, or whether it's going to stay how it is now and target it and stay as internal retest, this point is quite significant in the market. So I do want to target it. Just remembering that we are quite bullish as well. So, I'm not going to fight momentum if we do start to get strong momentum behind us. I'm not going to be looking to do too much to go against it. I do want to go with it. However, I understand the positioning that we're in. It does make a lot of sense to be able to sell off straight from where we are. I just want to see just here. We have actually mitigated this 10-minute point. Now, this 10-minute point doesn't necessarily hold much in the way of weight, but we have induced into a mitigation, and this is technically a medium inducement. So price actually could, because it's the last point of imbalance in our decisional area on the 10-minute and 15-minute time frame. So what we may actually find, there's your 5 minute point. You might actually find that the market wants to reverse from where it is. So I don't believe this point will hold. It's about your 50% of Asia. Mitigation, respect. That's your external 1 minute range. We've broken internally on the 1 minute. Coming into here now. There you go. Looks like it's just going to sell through it. Looks like it's just going to sell through. If it comes down this aggressive, I'm also not going to. I was contemplating buying off the take of this to target the decisional and to follow with the bullish momentum. Fuck, I'd like to sell through that. What I'm open to just here, guys, is if we can pull up either one, do this, generate something in here, I'll sell from there, or two, or mitigate. I'm then open to selling straight. So fuck, it's just going to melt. 5:32. It's no news. It won't be a news release unless it's a delayed release. It's just going to melt through it. Damn it. It's going to be too aggressive. I'm not going to be able to buy it. May just sell. Structurally, it's very, very valid to sell from where it is right now. There's just not going to be a way into it. Fuck. That's all right, because we can get a 5 minute break here. Then if we can generate some 5 minute structure, something like this, we may be able to use a point like this as a smart money trap Asia low, inducement, potential mitigation, smart money, trap, entry, go. We may be able to work with something like that, or even something like up in here directly. Just have a bit of patience here because we could. This doesn't necessarily mean it's gone. It may just be developing the structure that we needed to develop to be able to take it. Now, GU, on the other hand, hasn't really moved a whole lot. The thing that I'm seeing with GU, though, we're yet to mitigate our 15-minute range and retest it. We had that small internal break, which has been retested. We now induced retest, mitigated more of this area, um, and have started to work our way back up here. So we induced, we broke, we retested, we mitigated, we broke. So we've got a little bit of retest just here, more so here, which we're about to induce. You've got a small decisional point that sits here. You've got an extreme point that sits here. GU structurally actually makes more sense to buy internally, I believe. We don't have the same liquidity points, and it hasn't had that same tracement that EU has. EU hasn't mitigated that top point yet, eh? No, no, sweet. But neither is GU's, yeah, already broken it high. So look, I think GU, like, it has potential to buy. It's very due for a sell. To be honest, I don't really like GU, but I do think it's a very high probability to buy it. Yeah, there you go. There's EU taking that low. So yeah, yeah. We'll see what GU does. To be honest, I don't really like what GE is doing. Obviously, we're sweeping Asia high. We're bringing in Asia high sellers by the inducement. So for buyers, we've obviously got liquidity generating across here, and we've got a liquidity point just here, but we don't really have a whole lot to be able to target in the same way that EU does for sells. So it is going to depend on which one has the highest strength at the moment between EU and GU. And if we look at EG, yes, it's bearish. Yes, it's coming from its extreme. So we would expect GU to start to take hold. However, we have just broken a low after obviously pushing high, inducing. So you've got to remember this here was an internal smart money trap range, which has been swept. We've also swept all that trend line liquidity running across there. So this structurally makes sense to have a bit of a retracement, at least up until like this decisional area. So that's obviously going to have EU holding strength, and EU's making more sense to sell, in my opinion. So we might find, EU starts to drive price a little bit here. Oh, fuck, look at that. So yeah, fuck, he's so bearish. AU, I'm not touching. I don't really have an outlook for AU. It's in its weekly point, or sorry, its daily supply, but if you can come up with something that you want to do with that, good on you, because I don't have anything. Um, DXY, it's broken a weekly low. Of course, makes sense to buy given that. However, of course, we do have the other aspect to this, which is the fact that it is extremely bearish. However, of course, that lines up with EU. You got a 15-minute break here. I'm happy to work with that as my 15-minute range, given how bearish we are. So we can bring that one down here. That's cool. Beautiful. Yet to retest though. However, this is retest of the weekly break. So we're good in that sense. Starting to push up, which, works with our analysis of sells. But does it really, help from a trading perspective? No, because EU's kind of already started its move. So if the DXY just pushes, we're not going to be able to get into it. So that's definitely a point of concern that can back off. Nothing orange folder today. We'll see what Forex Factory is doing. Okay, yep, so we obviously at FOMC. We've got unemployment claims tonight. We've got nothing else. PPI tomorrow, so that's cool. Sweet. All right. Awesome. We'll wrap it up there. Main outlook is I would like to sell EU if the structure develops and allows.